Gotta get back into the groove. Hopefully this works out. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Kraken podcast. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I always appreciate it. If you are a new viewer, also welcome to my little pirate cove. My name is Eden. I'm the owner of Kraken, where I sell hand-painted progress keepers, hand-dyed yarn, and other handmade treasures. You can find me on Instagram as Crafting Kraken. You can also find me and my patterns on Lovecrafts and Payhip. And also you can find my shop at krakenmade.com. Did I say that? I feel like I always forget that one. But anyway, welcome to the Cove. It has been, I'm just looking at the computer, make sure everything's okay. It has been a busy weekend, which is why this podcast is a day late. We went out to Vancouver Island to visit some family. It was very special, but it was very exhausting, the amount of traveling that there was, so I finally got the energy and the mojo to film today, and I actually don't have a lot to talk about, which is okay. Sometimes that happens. It's going to be a littler podcast, but I guess I'll talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Implexis sweater, which was my own design, and I wore it so I could talk about this pattern is almost done being written up. We're kind of like power editing it lately before it goes into testing so that it's all complete and ready to go for testers. But summer's coming up. It is a thick, cozy sweater. It's DK weight. It's got some nice cables. I'll see if I can just stand up to show you down here some color work. Oh, I love it. It's like cozy and it's like a sweatshirt style. But with summer coming up and warm weather coming up, I know that people are less into knitting sweaters during the hot season. So I don't know if I should continue to work on this and have it go into testing probably, I don't know, end of April, something like that. But that means the sweater pattern would probably come out at the peak of summer, like late July or something. And I don't know if that's reasonable, so let me know what you think. Would you still knit this if it came out in the summer? Is that a bad time to release a pattern? Should I wait until fall or autumn? I don't know. I need your opinion. Let me know if that's a good idea or not. I have other patterns that I can work on in the meantime and get them out during the summer months because they're more summer appropriate patterns. But yeah, so that's my Implexis sweater. Oh, it is knit in my own hand-dyed yarn in the colors chocolate and little cuttlefish on my Whirlpool DK base, which I love. It's so cozy. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing. And I'll hop right into the projects that I have. I have 2 half-finished objects and 1 new whip, which actually one of my half-finished objects is brand new. So I got some socks. I took socks on the road. I got a ton of knitting done on the road. The first one I have is this one. This is an opal sock that I have in the shop. This is a loyal and true friend. So it is available in the shop. So it's an opal fingering. It's a really pretty self-striping. I really love those like fades of, come on camera, of like deep blue and teals. It's really fun. I just knit a 64 stitch vanilla sock and I did an umbrella toe on this one, which is a toe most commonly found in Kay's patterns of the Bakery Bears, Kay Jones. And so I thought I'd give that a try. I've never worn socks with a balloon toe. I've actually never worn socks with a slip stitch heel and gusset, which was new for me. I really enjoyed doing them. But so far in the socks that I have knit have ended up being gifts to people. So I've yet to experience this for myself. So that's my vanilla sock. And then this one I'm so excited about. This is a pattern that I've released a long time ago. Sorry, I keep looking at the camera to make sure that everything's okay. I'll look at you more, I promise. So this is what I used to call my I Do socks, but I'm re-editing it to make it easier and more appealing, I guess. So these will become the Implexis socks because it uses the same cable, I don't know if you'd be able to tell, as the sweater, same color work. So these I designed almost 2 years ago for me and my husband to wear on our wedding. It's like our wedding socks, and so I called them the I Do socks. And I knit those using size 0, US zeros, 2mm needles, and I had to adjust it a lot to fit the cable count. And it wasn't a popular pattern. It's a very special pattern to me, and that's okay. I didn't sell many, so I thought I would redo it to make it more appealing and also make it easier for me. Now that I've knit so many socks, I have a better idea of the construction of a sock. So these ones are knit on size US 1s, 2.25mm, and is actually very easy to get to the count you need for those cables. I did a slip stitch heel. The original pattern calls for a German short row heel, which I love. I'm going to keep that in there. But if you're a slip stitch heel person, it's so easy to just put it in. And the yarn I used, I absolutely love. Like, look at that pooling. Some people aren't huge fans of pooling, but I am. I think it helps me through projects because I just want to see how the colors are going to work. But this is Treasure Chest by K's of Knits. And the mini is actually one I have no idea what it is. It was a scrap that I think I got off of somebody else. So it didn't have a ball band, it didn't have a name, but I thought it went well. It's got little specks of blue in there. Let's see if I can get close enough. Yeah. The cable is just so much fun. You would think I'd be sick of it by now, but I never get tired of how satisfying this cable is. So yeah, I'm gonna redo that and hopefully get it released pretty soon. Maybe I'll work on that this week. Probably. If I say that, I probably will. So those are my half-finished objects, and I've just got them. I'll show you the balls. I've just got them, the second socks cast on. There's the mini for the Implexis sock. Really pretty. And then here's the ball of Treasure Chest. I just rewound it to clean it up. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I love that color. K-Zip does a really good job with colors. And yeah, just, I do the magic loop. Just a tiny, tiny little cuff. And then this is Loyal and True Friend. It's also in a cake because it was my travel ball for a while and it got really beat up and mangled, so I decided to put it in a cake just to clean it up. And there again, it's a tiny little cup. I just cast these on last night, so the socks are ready to go. I'm in need of some more hand knit socks, because actually I wear purely hand knit socks. I only have a couple of pairs of like store-bought cheap ankle socks for when I go running, but mostly I just wear hand knit socks, so I'm very happy with these. Okay, So, the new cast on is actually a new sweater. Okay, hang on. There we go. I gotta stop looking to the side. I should fix that. I'm sorry if I'm looking to the side too much. Anyway, I cast on a new sweater because I was just feeling like I needed something fresh. Oops. Computer's gonna die. So this mess, oh, why is there scotch tape in here? Oops. This mess is the beginnings of what is that? I don't know what this bag has been through. This is the beginning of a zipper sweater. It's gonna come up on the screen, but it is by Petite Knit, and it is like the softest collar. It's gonna be one that kind of comes up here, and you have a zipper to open up the neckline. And I thought it would be great for like the camping season and the colder evenings to have that mohair to be like a good barrier against wind or anything. Oh, I just love it. It's so soft. But I am using the needles called for, I believe. Yes, I am. And the colorways I'm using, here is an example of them in cakes. The mohair, it's on my lap already, too efficient for myself, is a Tofino Knit Co. in the Mermaid Mohair, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, in the color Nature's Camouflage. Come on. How pretty is that? And then the mane is Dragon Horde yarn on her Fairy Tale DK. Oh, how pretty is that? I know I'm saying that a bunch, but it's so beautiful. This is her Fairy Tale DK 100% superwash merino wool in the colorway Wandering Woods. I said this is DK, right? Probably. It's DK. So I'm just holding them together, and it creates such a beautiful, like, camo, I would say. I just love it. So I'm slowly working away on the neckline. It's a folded neckline, so once I get tall enough, I'm going to fold it over, and it's going to be really squishy and just lovely. Yeah, sorry for all the crinkling. You do a like a Judy's Magic cast on. If you cast on like toe up socks, you cast it on that way so that you can knit out and like put them together, I think. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm just knitting the length. So yeah, it's slow going. So far the only change I've made to this is that she called for twisted ribbing for like who knows how many. The pattern will tell me how many inches. I won't tell you because that's just giving away. It's a paid for pattern. And I was like, I'm not doing twisted ribbing. So I just did regular, and I think it's going to be fine. I am also knitting a smaller size. It's like 13 inches of positive ease, but I didn't want it to be that big. So I'm knitting the second size, whereas I'd probably be knitting the fourth size, which is crazy. I think I'm going to have a positive like 6 inches, which is more my area of what I like in oversized. That's about the same amount of this. 6 inches of positive ease. So yeah, I'm using the needles called for. I just got them in my bag that Kim of Ginger Snap gave me. I love it. So funky. And it's huge. It's a huge bucket bag. So it can actually fit the entire amount of sweater yarn in there. I just put in the balls that I'm using at the time so that they're not getting all tangled. And then the rest is just sitting on the shelf. So that is all that I've been working on for the past little while. I have put in work on my winter wood sweater by the Petite Knitter. and it's getting there. It's not enough to show. I think the next time you'll see it, it'll probably be done, and that'll be good. And I want to start another one of these like I talked about last time, and I have. I casted on the ribbing, and so far I've only finished the ribbing. There's nothing to see but just a little bit of the edge right there. So I didn't think it was worth showing. I'll show it once I get the color work section and the cables done so that you can see it in all its glory. Computer's turning off. Anyway, yeah. My blankets have been sitting and waiting for a little bit because the next section just came out a couple days ago while I was on this little trip. So I'll probably get back to those. The house is kind of coming down with sickness, and so I wanted to be prepared and get this podcast filmed beforehand in case I get sick. You can kind of hear a little bit in my voice that I've a little stuffed up. I'm hoping that's all that happens, but you never know. So I wanted to be sure to get a podcast in. I guess I could tell you about my trip, but it is a very emotional one because we went to Vancouver Island to go and see my aunt who is battling brain cancer. I have a link to her Gofundme down below, so if you feel like donating to her, that would mean so much. But it's been a roller coaster with her treatments and just prayers and hopes for her. And so it was good to see her, but it's been very emotional for a lot of the family. Yeah. But it was good to see her, and she was happy. She was feeling really good that day that we saw her. We played some games, and it was good. But yeah, then we had to come home early because everybody was starting to come down with something, and so we were like, we better get home before it gets too bad. So we're home, and so far we're doing okay. So that was my adventure. Lots of sock knitting the whole way. And yeah, I didn't bring any sweaters just because socks were what my brain could handle at the time. And yeah, that's all for really my yarn and life stuff. It was a surprise trip. I have been painting some progress keepers. I can see them on my desk a little ways away. I'm very excited to release them. If you're following me on Instagram, you would have seen what they are. I hope to have those released pretty soon. You'll see them soon. It's like probably one of the most detailed things I've done so far, which is really exciting. And just in time for camping season. It's a little tiny campfire. Progress keepers. If you haven't seen my hand painted progress keepers, if you're new here, I paint tiny little watercolors. I don't know if I think I have one. And this is a Christmas one that I'm going to put on one of my socks. Super sparkly. It's got Christmas lights on the boat. And on the other one, this one is called Hope is Returning. It's a sunrise. It's inspired by a really beautiful song. I don't actually know what the song is really called. Whoops. But Hope is Returning is in the lyrics. So I thought it made me think of a sunrise. It's got mountains and trees, which is awesome. So yeah, I paint those. I feel like I'm just blabbering. I'm trying to make it last longer, but that's really all I got. So, thank you so much for joining me, though. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me, and I guess I'll see you next time. Really, I will be sure to I'm going to put out the video about making this chair next week, which is really exciting. I was supposed to do it last week. I know I probably promised you. But then the trip came up and I just didn't have time to edit. The amount of editing that I have to do and videos that I have to go through for this chair is a whole lot more than a podcast. But next week. next week for sure. I'll be sure to do that. Okay, I'll stop blabbering. And yeah, again, one last time, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are, that it is full of yarny goodness. And I will see you next time. Bye.